Alright, today we're going to go over the 7 Hermetic principles from the Kabbalion. A brief synopsis of this book is it's inspired by the ideas of the man who inspired alchemy. What we learn about in terms of the Middle Ages, what we learn about in terms of esoteric ideas, in terms of more of the occult sciences, more of the occult, hidden secret societies, like they're all inspired by the principles in this book. And it's very interesting because you can see the overlap between these ideas and the ideas of every belief system, the ideas of every religion. Basically anything that stood the test of time has these principles in it, and it's just cool. It's just cool. This book has wisdom from thousands of years ago, and it might be more applicable today than it ever has been. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first Hermetic principle: mentalism. The all is mind, the universe is mental. This simple part about this is everything stems from your ideas. Everything stems from your thoughts. Your self-image, who you believe yourself to be, is who you will be in society. Like, if you believe you're not worthy, you'll never be worthy. And we can even get into the metaphysical principles, like the ideas that you put forth, the ideas that you think, they are so much deeper than just inside your brain. Your ideas exist in the mental plane. Your ideas can never be destroyed. They can never be altered. Once they're there, they're there. They can never be destroyed. And this is why for thousands of years speech has been censored. This is why for basically since the beginning of history, there's been certain ideas that you can't express. And I mean, I'm not saying that's not bad in some ways, but at the same time, we need to understand this, because when we understand this, this is when we can start to affect it. This is when we can start to change the script. This is when we can start to say, you know what, I'm no longer going to be negative. I'm no longer going to see the world how I see it. Emerson said, we become what we think about all day. Emerson also said, the way you see the world is more of a reflection on you than the world. And I think it's very, very important to understand this. The way we approach things, the way we approach situations, the positivity we hold, the negativity we hold, it all goes to shape the world we see. And the world we see is how successful or how much of a failure we will become. So keep this in mind. On to the next one. Correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. As within, so without. It's really all the same thing, but all it's saying is the internal world controls the external world. What is going on in the inside of you will be manifested on the outside. So if you're insecure on the inside, you're going to project that insecurity all around. It's very, very evident that, like, being confident will always take you so much further, and it's almost like there's an uncanny attraction to this. It's almost like there's some part of you being taken out. There's some part of your mindset, of your self-image, that is projected on others, and that's how they treat you. And we need to understand this, because if you have an integrated psyche, if you don't deal with any issues, you're not going to deal with any issues in the external world. But so many of us are battling demons. So many of us are battling all of these issues. And, like, I mean, a really good example is, like, people that, get out of relationships, people that keep failing in relationships. Like, at a certain point, you have to take responsibility and say, the problem's probably me. Like, there's probably something on the internal that's affecting why these relationships are breaking down, why I'm attracting these people that keep cheating on me, why I'm attracting these people that keep, disrespecting me, or doing this or doing that. Like, whatever problem is in your relationship, it's because of you. It's because of the world that you're allowing to be underneath. And the underneath causes the above. So, yeah. The third Hermetic principle: vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. This is very much Nikola Tesla. I mean, Tesla said, if you understand vibration, if you understand frequency, you understand the universe. And I don't claim to be smarter than Tesla. You're not smarter than Tesla. I don't think anybody is. So I would go with what he says. And it's not even so much in terms of physics, in terms of inventions, in terms of creating things, but I need you to understand that there's a vibration that corresponds to everything. Right now you're vibrating. Right now the camera I'm filming on is vibrating. There's nothing in the universe that's at rest, and all of these different corresponding vibrations correspond to a certain energy state, a certain thought, a certain idea. And if you want to change your situation, you just have to change your vibration by changing your thought. And there's a frequency for abundance. There's a frequency for money. Like, if you just start thinking that the world is limitless, that there's no checks and balances on how much money you can make, that you can literally wake up tomorrow and be a billionaire, that's so much more likely to happen. And the second that you get to that frequency is the second that you achieve these things. And you don't even have to believe this, but just understand that the separation from you and your goals is just a mind state. It's just an emotional state. It's just a feeling state. The more you can persist in these feeling states, in these states of consciousness, the more you can attract these ideals. This is very similar to the law of attraction, the law of assumption. The reason why the law of attraction and law of assumption work is because of the law of vibration. So just know that, keep that in mind, and start to develop these ideas and start to expand upon them and start to grasp them and put them into your psyche, because the more you accept these things, the more you can control your reality. On to the next thing. Polarity. Polarity is a very interesting one. Polarity is the idea that there is no such thing as hot and cold, just varying degrees of temperature. This is easily the best example, but it's not as applicable as the other ones. And we'll get into the applicability, but I need you to understand, like, at what degree does it become hot? At what degree does it become cold? The truth is, we don't know. There's no answer. It's just a sliding scale. And wherever we are on that sliding scale, that's the polarity. That's how close it is to one end or the other. They're all the same. It's just temperature, but varying degrees. And now that we understand this, we can understand it in the terms of how we can apply it. And how we can apply it is understanding that love and hate come from the same thing. Emotion all comes from the same place in our heart, in our soul, in our body, in our mind. Wherever it is that you think it comes from the same place. And when we understand this, we understand that we can express it in a good way or in a bad way. The reason why so many men end up in prison is because from childhood they're taught not to express their emotions. They're taught they have to be tough at all times. They're taught that they can't write poetry, that they can't like art, that they can't express themselves in any creative manner. And you know what happens because of this? The only way they express their emotions is through anger, hatred, rage, jealousy, getting upset when somebody bumps into them at a bar, getting upset when someone cuts them off on the road. And we have to understand that emotions are just energy. They're a sliding scale, and you could either choose to do it in the bad way or in the good way. And it's like, when we start thinking of things like this, we can start to see these parallels in the ideas of Carl Jung, the ideas of the greatest psychologists, the ideas of the greatest philosophers. I think it was Nietzsche that said, for a tree to reach heaven, for its leaves and branches to reach heaven, its roots have to be in hell. And this is exactly what it's saying. Like, you need to understand both sides. You need to understand that you're capable of evil so that you can do good. You need to understand that if you don't express this emotion in a positive way, it's going to be expressed in a negative way. And this is the entire idea of polarity. It can also be applied into relationships as well. I think it's an interesting idea to play around with in terms of relationships. Like, everyone has varying degrees of masculine, feminine principle in them. This is a later part of the section, but I'll just explain it now. But basically, for me, I'm obviously more masculine than I'm feminine, but I have to find my match. Let's say I'm 70-30, I have to find a girlfriend that's 30-70. And it's like, it's the polarity that you're attracted to. It's the yin-yang, it's the push-pull, it's the give-take. And this is really the beauty of life. And this is how you should really be looking for a partner. Like, if you're less masculine, look for someone more masculine. If you're more masculine, look for someone less masculine. It's a very good way to start balancing things and start seeing the traits that you want to see in other people. And most people just do it purely off looks or purely off feeling, but I'm telling you, this is a good way to do it. And you'll see the relationships that work out the best always have a balance and polarity. But yeah, on to the next thing, rhythm. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. This is basically saying that there's order to the universe. There's order in the chaos. And we need to understand this because everything, I mean, I guess a pendulum goes this way. Everything's in a pendulum. You're either swinging up or you're swinging down. And on those downswings, we can really take advantage of these ups and downs, because on the downswings, what we can do is we can use the mental plane. We can use the idea of mentalism. We can use the idea that the mind is everything and alter our states of consciousness, alter our feeling, alter our ideas, alter our thoughts, and get ourselves back on that upswing, get ourselves back up on that good. And this is the one place in this book where it says you can violate the laws of the universe. And this is something that you can constantly do, because think of any time you're in a bad mood, it's simply just a result of you winning so many times, you doing good for X amount of days, X amount of times, and it's the universe bringing you back down so that you can rise back up. But you can kind of cheat your way out of this. You can kind of get over this by simply changing your ideas, by simply changing your perception, by simply changing the way you view the situation and flipping on its head, seeing it as a good thing, finding a way to find the positive and move forward and keep your head up. And it's truly inspiring. It's really cool to see that there's a way around some of these laws, and this is perhaps the most interesting part of the book. And it's for this reason I really urge you to pick up this book, because however I'm explaining right now, if you think this is inspiring, wait till you read the book. 6, cause and effect. This is very similar to what I was just saying, but every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. And this is basically just saying that everything happens for a reason. You might not have to see the reason. You might just call it luck. But somewhere down the line, somewhere, maybe in a past life, maybe through ancestral karma, maybe through a thought you had, maybe through someone else's idea, maybe, somewhere really, really far removed away from you, somebody was wishing bad on you. Like, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a cause, and we attribute it to luck simply because we don't see the cause. But there is order in the chaos. It's just such a grand scale that we can't really make sense of it. And when we start to understand this, we start to understand that, we're most likely the cause of our issues. We're most likely the cause of all these things. Like I said, there's extenuating circumstances that some cases it's not, but more often than not, we are in control of our destiny, and we need to understand this so that we can start taking responsibility and we start taking action. Because, you see it in the political sphere. Like there's so many people that simply argue that, oh my God, I need this party because the other party's gonna take away my rights. And it's like, if someone can freely take away your rights, like, who's to say that one party isn't gonna do it? And like, why are you giving this much power and this much responsibility to someone else but yourself? Like, you are actively taking away your one gift, your one ability to change reality, which is the idea of responsibility, the idea that you can make a change. Because if you don't believe you can make a change, you'll never be able to. But at least if you believe you can, there's a chance. And there's a chance that if you persist in a positive mindset, if you persist in a positive mental state, a positive state of consciousness, and imagine yourself in the end, like, you can easily take control of your life. But until you understand that you caused it, until you understand that you had some role in it, you had some responsibility, then you're never going to take action. Then you're never going to stand up and say, fuck it, I'm tired of getting in my own way. I'm tired of all these things happening to me. You're going to say, woe is me. I'm not here because of my parents. I'm not here because of this person. I'm not here because of this. Like, in some way, you're responsible. Take responsibility, understand it, stand up, and fight for what you believe in. On to the 7th Hermetic principle. This one's gender. We're not talking about what bathroom you can go into. We're not talking about the modern day gender stuff. This is gender in the more philosophical ideals. This book mentions that physical gender, sexual characteristics, it's just gender expressed in the physical form, but gender is so much deeper than this. And the best way to explain this is through the Bible, because the Bible said that God made Adam and Eve in his image, meaning that God is both masculine and feminine. To create, you have to have both a active and a passive principle. It has to be the active to consciously focus the energy, consciously focus the idea, the passive to absorb it and create it. So like, it's literally the thing of God created the world in 6 days, and on the 7th he rested. On the 7th day, everything was being formed, and after that 7th day, poof, we have a universe. And it's like, when we understand this, we can understand it in terms of the conscious, unconscious, and creating our reality, creating our state. And really quickly, to explain the conscious, unconscious, the conscious mind is you awake, you doing your day-to-day, how to drive, how to tie your shoes, all of these things. Your unconscious is your deeper motivations, your sense of self, the unconscious trauma, the collective consciousness. All of these different things really are just hidden and not put in our face to basically ensure that we can go through our day-to-day and not worry about all the messed up things we've done, not worry about all the bad things people have done to us. But we need to understand that we can impress our subconscious with ideas to change our sense of self, to change the patterns and the things around us. And when you persist in a state of mind, when you persist in a higher state of consciousness that you are already, that you wish to be, that's where the ideas will come to become a millionaire. Like, if you believe you're a millionaire already, you're going to have ideas like a millionaire. Like, if you truly believe and you can truly picture and you can imagine it to such a degree that it literally feels real, like it feels like you can touch that sports car, you can see the text of your mother being like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. I always knew like all these things were going to happen. Like, if you can make it feel so real, you're just one step away, because everything has to be created twice. Everything is first created in reality, I mean, first created in your mind and second reality. And it's through impressing your subconscious. It's through going to sleep in these states of consciousness. It's through constantly feeling these things and slowly allowing your passive, unconscious mind to absorb these things and reflect it in the world. And these were the 7 Hermetic principles. I literally just did a course on these. I released the course like an hour before I filmed this. I think this should be out tomorrow, so if you enjoyed me going through the book live, I guess not live, through a video, you're going to enjoy it in the written format too. And right now my school's free. I'm going to let a certain amount of people in it for free, so to really just build it up, really just make it a fun, welcoming place. And yeah, just check it out, because that course is great. I have a bunch of other courses: diet, philosophy, how to get into reading, how to do all these things. Like, it's a really good resource. I have 10 courses in there right now, and I cannot wait to see you in there. If you want to join my Discord as well, that link will also be in the description. If you're new to the channel, you made it this far, you're probably gonna like the other stuff I do. I love each and every one of you guys that have made it this far, that have supported me, that have helped me to this point, because there's been times I wanted to quit. There has been times where I didn't feel motivated, but it was literally someone that's in my stream day in, day out, you know, giving me good questions, giving me good answers, who suggested I did this video. So yeah, when this video blows up, I'm gonna have to thank you in some way. I haven't figured it out, but yeah, we're doing something special for you. So love you guys. Link to the book will be in the description. Peace out. See you in the next one.